Hey crafters, welcome to day 4 of my Countdown to Christmas video series. So today I've got a fun project for you. It's another wreath, but I think you're gonna really like this, and I've kind of added my own touches to this, so I think it makes it really fun, and best of all is it's super affordable. So I'll give you a sneak peek of what we will be making. We're making this awesome Christmas ornament wreath. And the nice thing about this is you need very few materials, and also I've got some couple ways to make it a little more affordable and mean you have to take less trips out to the store. So the first thing we need to work on is we need to prep and make our wreath frame. And so we're going to use a similar technique like I used in my fall pinecone wreath tutorial, where instead of going out and buying a wreath frame, we're going to make a wreath frame out of cardboard. So I went ahead, I had a piece of cardboard, I put a pin in the middle, tied a piece of string around it, and then went around once with the pen, and then did a smaller section so that way I could get my 2 circles. I'm making mine about a foot across, so a foot in diameter this way, and it's about 2 to 3 inches thick. Now, if we were to leave this flat like we did with our pinecone one, we would not end up with a pretty wreath like this. You can see from the side that it's very 3D. So to make it 3D, we're not going to go spend more money. We're just going to use grocery store bags. So really all you need to do is just kind of crumple them about like this, hold them against your cardboard, take some masking tape, and just tape the bag on here. Just kind of go around. I'm going to pull off a nice long section of masking tape, come to my back here, and simply go around it. Right there. And when I go around, I don't want to pull the tape super tight because I want to keep this kind of fluff of the bag so that way there's some 3D-ness to this, because essentially we're going to let this kind of be our frame, and that'll give it some more 3D so we can get the ornaments to go on there nicely. But then the back will stay nice and flat so it can hang against the door. So I'm just going to do this all the way around. I've got a bunch of different bags here. Take your bag, just gently fluff it up about like this. Put it on your frame and run the tape over it. Alright, so here you can see a better look of how I've prepped my wreath frame. I've just taken, it only took me about 3 bags, just kind of left them on here so there's some thickness to this, and it can kind of curve like that. And I just went around with the masking tape, and really simple, really cheap, so you don't have to go out and buy a wreath frame. Plus the nice thing if you don't buy a wreath frame is you can make this whatever size you want. So the next step I want to do, because I don't want to see plastic bags, I'm going to just take a basic garland and I'm going to wrap this around here. So I'm going to start on the back, and I've also had my hot glue gun heating up. Start by putting a little bit of glue here and laying my garland down in that. And then I'm going to wrap around a couple times. Just go through there with my garland. Check on the front to make sure it's looking good. You'll need to go fairly close together so that way we don't have any of the bag peeking through. And then every so often I'm just going to take my glue gun and hot glue it on here so it stays as I go around. So this gives you an idea of how it will look as you go around. I have a couple spots here where a little bit of the bag is peeking through, but I can adjust the garland to kind of fill it in better, or else I can cover those spots when I glue on ornaments. So I'm going to repeat the same process with my second garland. Alright, so I just finished wrapping mine. Here you go, you can see the nice wrapped wreath, which actually this is a cool idea. You could make another wreath or even just stop here, just as another wreath idea. So we're going to set this aside for now. And I've got a big box of ornaments, and I need to prepare my ornaments for going on the wreath. So all these ornaments, they're just plastic shatterproof ornaments, but they have this little top part here. So I want to just carefully pop it right off, because this is just extra material that's going to get in the way. So I'm just going to set these aside, but hang on to these because you will need them for a craft later on in this month. So start by popping those pieces off of all your ornaments. So I finished popping the tops off these little ornaments, and now it's time to get the glue gun back out and start gluing the ornaments on. So I've seen a lot of people recommend this when doing these kind of wreaths, and I also found this to work really well, is to start by doing your outer edge of ornaments and your inner edge of ornaments, and then filling it in, because that prevents you from getting to a situation where your ornaments go way too far to the back or you have weird gaps on the side. It's a lot easier to fill them up in the middle than it is to on the sides. So for gluing these on, there's a few things I would keep in mind. First of all, this end that has the spot where the hook used to go, I'm gonna put that inwards because it would look kind of weird if that piece is sticking out. But I'm just going to put a lot of glue here and stick it in there. And there we go, I've attached my first ornament. Now a couple things to keep in mind, since I am using different shaped ornaments, they're going to nestle together differently. And also I can angle these any way I want. I can have it angled that way, angle upward. So just keep in mind that you can angle things different ways. Second of all, these ones that are really sparkly, these are a little bit harder to get attached because sometimes you put the glue on there and the glue, instead of adhering to the ornament, it just ends up peeling away a layer of the glitter. So it's kind of helpful if you kind of put some glue inside the ornament tip there, so that way it can really adhere to the wreath. And then also another thing is when you have two ornaments beside each other, you want to put glue in between them. And that will help make your wreath sturdier. But other than that, there's not much to it other than just lots of gluing and attaching your ornaments. Again, whenever there's two ornaments beside each other, I want to attach them with a little bit of hot glue because it'll make the wreath sturdier overall. And now I'm just going to keep going around the edge. Alright, so here's how it's coming so far. I've done around the edge and started working up a little bit. I gotta finish going around the middle. But as you're working on this, you'll probably notice you get lots and lots of hot glue gun cobwebs. So it will save you some time in the end if every now and then you pause and try to clean off the hot glue cobwebs. And again, when you're done, you won't notice them as much, and there's different things you can do to kind of disguise it. But if you clean it up a little bit as you go, it'll just make it easier in the end. And here is our fabulous finished result. So here's a close-up look at the wreath. But you can see I've got some spots where I still have some of the garland peeking through, but personally I really like that. In the first one I showed you towards the beginning of this video, that was green and gold that I had made. I also had some little pieces of like tinsel and just some other things that I glued in to fill in some of the gaps. So that's another great option to do too. Or if you have extra bits of garland left over, you can cut off small pieces and glue them to help fill in the holes. And then also you'll see I've got this hook on here. Because these ornaments right here were far enough to the front and were attached to the other ornament bulbs, I was able to slide this hook right behind those ornaments but in front of the wreath frame, so I'll be able to hang this up on a door. But there you go. This project does take a good bit of hot glue, so make sure you have enough on hand. Also, it does use a fair amount of ornaments, especially the bigger you go. I used a little over 75 ornaments on this one. I could have done a little less and had more of the garland sticking out, or if I wanted to, I could have used another box of ornaments to make it look even fuller and have less garland sticking out, but I really like the way this turned out, and now all I've left to do is to go hang up my wreath. So I hope you guys come back tomorrow for day 5 of our countdown to Christmas. I've got some more fun crafts planned, and I think you will enjoy them. So I thought you guys might appreciate the shirt I'm wearing. Feliz Navidad, how cool is that? I love this shirt. It's actually not even my shirt, I'm borrowing it from my sister, so shout out to her for letting me borrow this shirt. But I'm just curious, first off, do you like ugly sweaters? Second of all, do you like puns? And third, do you like all 3 of those combined? Because I like all 3 of those things. So if you like them too, leave a comment down below letting me know what your favorite ugly sweater Christmas ideas are. But I hope you all have a great rest of your day and happy crafting.